Hello, my name is JJ Williams, and today I will be talking about the third episode of Star Trek Lower Decks. If you like this video, I would greatly appreciate it if you liked and subscribed. Disclaimer for everyone, this review will contain my opinions. They are not your opinions. In fact, I encourage people to share their own opinions, respectfully please. But that's all this video is, my opinion. Okay, I reviewed the first two episodes and I wasn't impressed. But I am fair to the show. I give credit where credit's due. If I see something that I like or find funny, I mention it. But I just don't blindly like it. There are legitimate things wrong with the show. I've heard people argue in defense of Lower Decks that it's okay for Trek to be different, and I agree with that sentiment. But I don't agree with the way they decided to be different. You still have to be faithful to the source material. It still has to feel like Star Trek. This show feels like a fever dream I can't wake up from. You wanted to watch Star Trek because of the characters and the interesting stories every week, but Lower Decks is too busy making dumb jokes and putting a bunch of Easter eggs in there to trick the audience into thinking it's Star Trek. Another good point that was brought up to me is, and I'm paraphrasing here, if I don't like it, then why make a video series trashing it? Why stomp on people's fun? First of all, I don't trash it. I will admit I am nitpicky, but I don't bitch just to bitch. Contrary to popular belief, I fucking love Star Trek, and I'm just a concerned fan. The shit CBS has been pumping out is just insulting and spits on the reputation of Star Trek. Star Trek was once an intellectual property that captured the hearts of millions. It was also unique in the fact that it was a utopian view of the future, not a dystopian like many other sci-fis out there. But there are a lot of people out there that love the new Star Trek, which is okay, but people need to realize it isn't Trek. People have forgotten what Trek means. Thanks, Kurtzman, you fucking twink. And I'm just trying to remind everyone what Trek is truly about. Well, that was a rabbit hole I didn't expect to go in while typing this at 2 in the morning. So I'll skip the recap of episodes 1 and 2. On with the review portion. Boimler's playing this glass-looking violin. First of all, every musical instrument seen in Star Trek that isn't an alien instrument is a normal, everyday musical instrument. They weren't futuristic at all, except for these green-looking crash cymbals in Nemesis, but those were dumb too. Plenty of characters play instruments. Scotty plays the bagpipes, Uhura plays the harpsichord, Data plays violin, guitar, and oboe, Riker plays the trombone, Geordi plays lute, Kim plays clarinet and the alto saxophone, O'Brien plays cello, the Doctor does opera and plays piano, 7 of 9 also sings and plays piano, Cisco also sings and plays piano, Spock also sings and plays piano. Fucking everyone sings and plays piano in this universe. Anyway, even the alien instruments look real and like something I could buy at my local music shop. Picard's Rissican flute looks like the flute Willy Wonka plays. Spock at Tuvok's Vulcan lute looks and sounds like it's a completely real instrument. Star Trek never had a futuristic looking space instrument, they were always real. The only instrument in the scene that's like a real instrument is Mariner's guitar, which is a flying V and looks and sounds like a real electric guitar. But Tendi's drums don't match. They look like the marching band toms, but sound like a drum kit. Just weird. Also, Boimler's song fucking blows. And of course, both songs are written about his mother. Okay, I'm a big metalhead. I love bands like Testament, Anthrax, Slayer, Gojira, Megadeth, Iron Maiden, the list goes on. The reason I bring this up is because I'm tired of how metal is seen as a joke or as obnoxious and evil in the media. And Lower Decks decides to tackle this old beaten trope, and was honestly kind of insulting. Also, as a person who's in a band and plays metal, I'm tired of animators being lazy and not even trying to make it look like a character is playing a guitar part. Like, at the very least, have them play on the correct part of the neck. If they are shredding and screeching, then animate them playing high on the neck. It's not that fucking difficult. Okay, sorry I went on that tangent. That was literally not even the first minute of the episode. I will admit this joke was funny.
What is the meaning of this intense bass? Are you mocking me?
I don't hear it on our side. It must be your equipment.
Engineer Kanach, today you die!
It's a totally Klingon response. Lieutenant Shaxs thinking that the loud ruckus was Boimler's fault was very predictable. You learn that the Cerritos' original destination was Cardassia Prime. but it was changed to Gamelot 5 to deliver, quote, gifts. They really wasted the opportunity to show the political state of Cardassia. The Cardassian Empire had fallen at the end of the Dominion War after Damar led a revolution against the Dominion. The Cardassians had been a part of the Dominion throughout the war, and Damar's revolt led to the end of not only the war, but also the Cardassian Empire. They were left a broken race with a broken planet, but Deep Space Nine left off with hopeful ambiguity. Lower Decks could have gone to Cardassia Prime and we could have learned about them, their politics, economics, and new endeavors post-Empire. They could have really explored it, and when Captain Freeman mentioned Cardassia Prime, I was excited. But they threw it away in the same sentence. What a wasted opportunity. This phaser scene got a chuckle out of me.
Okay, try it now.
Field strength is at 100%.
Oh, you almost phasered me!
Calm down. It's set to, it was set to stun.
I've noticed so far that when the show makes a subtle joke, it's actually funny. But the in-your-face and goofy ones are just painfully unfunny. Rutherford is right. You never tell your boss the correct ETA of a task. But the whole buffer time thing is kinda stupid. Like they're drinking margaritas on duty. An angry Captain Freeman learns of buffer time from, who else? Boimler. The captain is acting like such a bitch in this episode. Instead of actually fixing the problem and exploring why her ship is the laughingstock of the fleet, she decides to give her crew impossible time limits. This overworks the crew. They're all panicking and rushing their work, everyone of course for Boimler, who is flourishing. He even has all the work for the day done and requests for more. This scene right here blows.
Ooh, I love purging. I purge you, I purge you, I purge you, I purge you, I purge, 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 purge. And a puff and an urge, and a puff and an urge. Ooh, I love purging.
Okay, at this point in the episode, the story splits, so I'm going to talk about the away mission with Mariner and Ransom first. Mariner and Ransom are on a mission to deliver the, quote, gifts. And of course, Ransom's being a douche. Like, why couldn't he have helped them move the stuff into the shuttle? But that's how it is in real life. My bosses just yell at me to work faster, and they just watch me struggle. But I do agree with Ransom when he told Mariner to roll her sleeves down. When they are being attacked by the guys with spears, why didn't they just run to the shuttle? I'm like 99.99% sure that the shuttle would survive a few spears thrown at it. But instead they fall back behind the crystal for cover. They could have just beamed off from there. But big surprise, they get captured and put in a jail cell. Ransom wants to make some dumb speech, and I laughed at this remark.
You always speak freely. Nobody can stop you from speaking freely.
They argue, and then Ransom stabs Mariner in the foot and fights this guy. Ransom rips his shirt off, and Mariner thinks he's hot. I thought this was amazing.
I demand a peaceful negotiation. I respect your sovereignty.
And also Vindor loving to read got a chuckle out of me. Ransom wins the fight, and they go back to the ship. Why would Ransom throw Mariner into the brig just because she had her sleeves rolled up? Like, she could have him court-martialed, and you know, he stabbed her in the foot? Ransom is just so douchey. The other plot in the episode revolves around the Galrakians invading the ship after they were given a log instead of a crystal. But when they invade the ship, the captain tells everyone not to use this as an excuse to stop doing their work. Like, what a bitch. They are literally being boarded by a hostile force intent on killing them. Okay, this scene was funny.
Don't move, human. We have you surrounded.
Yeah, but I have a phaser.
But Boimler convinces the captain to let the crew loosen up in a scene that was actually good, and her speech to the crew was actually really uplifting. Then the crew taking back the ship was triumphant and entertaining. But if I were there, I would have gone for a phaser instead of my work pad. After everything is back to normal, the captain names a new rule after Boimler called the Boimler effect. It states that any crew member takes as many shortcuts and as much buffer time as they see fit, which is literally the exact opposite of Boimler, which is the irony behind the joke. I thought the far future joke was weird, but the fact that Boimler is remembered as lazy is funny to me. I thought the O'Brien reference was weird, but I'm cool with it. This episode was okay. Like, I know what to expect from the show now. An action-based plot with dumb over-the-top jokes that are painfully unfunny, sprinkled with a few subtle but funny jokes. I actually love making these videos because it gives me a chance to talk about everything in the Star Trek universe, since the show loves to reference old Trek. I loved explaining the whole thing with Cardassia. I love explaining the instruments people play. I just love sharing my Star Trek knowledge with everyone. And I'm actually really excited to review the rest of the series for you. So make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'll know when the newest video is out.